If you are preparing for NID 2026 entrance exam, you will have to listen to this carefully. This year, NID has announced some major changes in its exam structure, and these changes can completely change your strategy preparation for this year. Just memorizing or practicing old questions won't work anymore. What actually you will need is design thinking capability. So let's break it down step by step, what has changed, why it has changed, and how one should. The first change is selection will now happen based on the faculty or at the department level. Earlier, students would apply directly to specific disciplines like animation, product design, textile, or ceramic. But now NID has grouped these disciplines into broader faculties or departments. I mean, ये पहले से ही ग्रुप थे, बस हमने शायद कभी इनसे पहले इनको नोटिस नहीं किया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल कम्युनिकेशन डिजाइन, इंडस्ट्रियल डिजाइन, IT इंटीग्रेटेड डिजाइन, इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी डिजाइन एंड टेक्सटाइल एंड अपैरल. और फिर इनके अंदर आते हैं सारे डिसिप्लिन. व्हाट डज दिस मीन? For example, product design comes under industrial design, while information comes under IT integrated design department. Now, you cannot apply to both these streams this year. This year, you will have to choose department or faculty first. Let's say I select industrial design, and then within this department, I can apply into 2 disciplines only. मतलब मेरे disciplines इन्हीं industrial design के options में से ही 2 कोई हो सकते हैं. Same goes if I select communication design department or other faculty and so on. So you will now need much more clarity from the very beginning about which faculty or department you are more inclined to. The second major change this year is going to be there is going to be just one common prelims paper for everyone. Earlier different disciplines had different papers, जिसको हम डिसिप्लिन स्पेसिफिक एग्जाम बोलते थे, विच मीन्स अर्लियर आपका एक पार्ट 1 का टेस्ट होता था जो सारे एस्पिरेंट्स के लिए सेम होता था, एंड देन यू वर गिवन डिसिप्लिन स्पेसिफिक क्वेश्चन पेपर फॉर 2.5 आवर. और अगर आपने 2 डिसिप्लिन सेलेक्ट करे हैं तो उसके बाद 2.5 घंटे का एक और आपका पेपर होता था. नाउ ओनली 1 प्रीलिम्स फॉर एवरीवन, चाहे आप किसी भी डिसिप्लिन के हो. Something similar to what is happening in SEED का paper. Now the focus will only be on general design aptitude. That means your core design thinking, your observation skill, creativity, logical problem solving and visualization का test होगा. No more technical jargons or stream wise preparation या फिर memorization जो बहुत बच्चे करते होंगे. NID now wants to see how original your thinking is and how you approach real world problems. The third and most shocking change is prelims will carry 0 weightage in final selection this year. Yes, you heard it right. 0% weightage in your final rank. Prelims is now just qualifying, which means qualifying prelims will give you opportunity to sit for mains, but prelims के marks आगे carry नहीं होंगे. The final rank will depend completely on your studio test and interview. और उसका breakdown क्या रहेगा? Studio test के 40% marks जुड़ेंगे और interview के 60%. This means the real game is no longer about creating good sketches. It's about how clearly you present your ideas, how confidently you answer the interviewer's question, and how well you can explain your design process. Communication and presentation skill will now matter more than ever before. This year, there will be changes in how studio test and interview will be conducted as well. I'm sure you have understood कि prelims तक तो discipline से related कुछ भी पूछा नहीं जा रहा है. The discipline will come into picture only in mains. अब इस बार स्टूडियो टेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट के हिसाब से होगा, विच मीन्स इफ यू हैव सेलेक्टेड इंडस्ट्रियल डिजाइन फैकल्टी और डिपार्टमेंट, यू विल गिव 1 स्टूडियो टेस्ट फॉर योर डिपार्टमेंट, नॉट 2 स्टूडियो टेस्ट लाइक इट यूज्ड टू हैपन अर्लियर. बट इन द केस ऑफ इंटरव्यू, यू विल गिव इंटरव्यू फॉर 2 डिसिप्लिन्स. Of course, if you are qualified for both disciplines. So summary क्या है? 1 studio test based on the faculty that you have selected and 2 interviews based on the disciplines within that faculty. But why? Why these changes? इससे क्या फायदा होगा किसको और क्यों? If we think about this, I think it will help us strategize better and understand what NID is looking for. So I think there are 3 clear reasons, but before I tell you anything, let me be very clear that these are my opinion. ये जो भी मैं बताने वाला हूँ ये NID के हैंडबुक में नहीं मेंशन है, तो प्लीज इसको ऑफिशियल डॉक्यूमेंट के हिसाब से मत समझ लेना. You can accept or completely reject based on your discretion. The first reason is to filter out rote learners and coaching classes students. NID doesn't want students who simply memorize or solve repetitive coaching style questions कि ये लो question solve कर लो NID में हो जाएगा. There should not be any pattern. They want original and raw thinkers, people who can observe, question, create and communicate. That's why they make changes every few years so that coaching students do not get in. Second reason is to filter out students joining for the brand. पिछले कुछ सालों से एक नया ट्रेंड बना लिया था स्टूडेंट ने. आई विल अप्लाई फॉर स्ट्रीम्स जहां कंपटीशन बहुत ही कम है. दे जस्ट वांटेड एडमिशन इन NID. करना क्या है इवेंचुअली? UX UI में जॉब. ज्वाइन क्या किया है? मे बी टॉय एंड गेम डिजाइन और इवन सिरेमिक डिजाइन. नाउ दीज स्टूडेंट्स आर नॉट दैट पैशनेट फॉर द डिसिप्लिन्स दैट दे हैव सेलेक्टेड. इफ बाय चांस few students get admission by this strategy, they either end up leaving the course or NID altogether, or they end up in a UX UI job. Now the point is it good for NID? ऐसा नहीं है कि NID want to decide कि आपको कहाँ काम करना चाहिए, but why is that they cannot find passionate students for whom the course is made, जिसके लिए इतने सारे resources deploy किए गए हैं? Is it not a loss of NID? What is the relevance of such passionate courses then? क्या सोसाइटी में ऐसे डिजाइनर्स की जरूरत ही नहीं है? बिल्कुल है. It's just that we have to find the passionate students and hence these changes. Third reason is to align with how design education works globally. If you look at design schools around the world, their focus is always on first your ability to make, which NID is testing through Studio Test, and then your ability to communicate your ideas, which NID is testing through projects and portfolio. But do you know how NID has decided to go for it this year? To do well in Studio Test, you need skills related to the chosen faculty or department. To gain those department skills or faculty skills, you need strong core design skills first. So it's like a pyramid. Base पर है core skills, उसके ऊपर आते हैं मिड में डिपार्टमेंट स्किल्स ऑन विच यू बिल्ड योर पोर्टफोलियो और प्रोजेक्ट्स. That's exactly what NID is testing this year. Hence, our aim should be first, believe that prelims questions will be broad and general, no jargon, and now it becomes even more clearer ki how all design exams are interconnected. For example, SEED. Second, build the skills that make you fit to learn design further. Skills that show you can adapt, think creatively, and grow in the department or discipline that you have selected. And what exactly are these skills जो मैं बार बार बात कर रहा हूँ? So let's take a look at them in detail. Think of it in 3 buckets. ये वो skills हैं जो हर डिजाइनर में होने ही चाहिए. Disciplines तो बाद में आएंगे इसके बाद. So the first is ability to think and see, which includes identifying problems, understanding user behavior and context, and your ability to think logically and analytical thinking. Second skill is doing and making, generating creative ideas, visualizing concepts through maybe sketches or maybe prototype models, and then developing practical and innovative solutions. And third skill that is needed is connecting and communicating. Connection से मतलब है empathy, understanding user needs, and considering or understanding cultural and social context. मैंने कोई product बनाया तो उसका क्या relevance है, मैंने क्यों बनाया. Presenting then ideas in clearer and engaging way, either visually sketch के through या verbally in the presentation. तो ये वो skills हैं I think which they will test in prelims. SEED does the same in part B through beautiful 5 questions that they ask. Hence, questions will be similar to what they used to ask earlier in the streams, but more general in nature so that students from all streams can now answer them. Now, when you go for mains, each faculty or department will test these skills from a different angle altogether. For example, if you go for communication design, they are going to test your storytelling and visual clarity in mains. Industrial design would want you to understand function, usability, ergonomics. IT integrated design would want you to understand system thinking, your logic and flow. Interdisciplinary studies would be looking for your ability to make strategies and your ability to look at big picture. Textile and apparel would want you to understand materials, pattern identification, and cultural understanding. So these were the major changes in NID MDes 2026. My advice would be to keep doing what you were doing for SEED or maybe even for stream specific. The changes made so far is good for students who are coming from non-art and design background. Keep in mind they are looking for students who have strong thinking, problem solving, and creative ability. Do let me know if you have more questions on NID MDes 2026 changes in the comment section below, and we will try to answer all of them.